Hi, I'm Captain Stephanie Menno, and welcome to Tactical Mobility, Active Recovery, and Mindfulness. Today, I will be guiding you through a sequence designed specifically for recovery from the ACFT. During the 6-event ACFT, you stress many of the major muscle groups throughout the body. Whether you took your ACFT earlier today or a few days ago, chances are you're beginning to feel some discomfort and tightness throughout the body. You can modify any of these poses as you feel necessary based on the level of tension you might be feeling today. Throughout the practice, try to focus on breathing intentionally to help the body relax and restore. Let's take a moment here in mountain pose, feet underneath your hips, arms relaxed by your sides to center yourself. You can bring the gaze down towards the floor, maybe close the eyes completely if that's comfortable today, and just start to draw your attention to your breath. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. When thoughts start to come up, or your attention begins to wander, just take note of this, don't judge it, and work to bring that awareness back to your breath each time. Let's do a quick body scan here. Starting at the crown of your head, let your awareness flow like a waterfall all the way down to your toes. Noticing any tension you might be holding onto in the face, the neck, and the shoulders, your arms and your hands, your abdomen, your back, down to your hips, then your legs, and the feet. Just taking note of anywhere that you may be feeling discomfort or any tension, and work on actively sending the breath to these areas throughout your practice to help facilitate even deeper relaxation. Let's start with a little warm up here, starting to roll the shoulders and the wrists out. So on an inhale, go ahead and shrug the shoulders up towards the ears and hold that there for just a moment. And on the exhale, relax them back and down. Inhale, shoulders up, shrugging up towards the ears, holding for a moment, relaxing back and down. You can do this 3 more times on your own with the breath. Inhale, shrugging up. Exhale, relaxing back and down. Just letting go of any of this tension you might be holding on to throughout the neck and the shoulders. And when you finished all 3 rounds, go ahead and come back to center, and let's roll out the wrists. So just start to gently roll the wrists in one direction, getting out any cracks and pops here. And then go ahead and switch to the other side. And then coming back to stillness again. And then on your inhale, go ahead and sweep your arms up tall, looking up towards the fingertips, maybe finding a little bit of a back bend here. Chin going up towards the ceiling, stretching out the front side of the body. And on the exhale, go ahead and relax your arms back down to the sides. Let's do that again. Go ahead, inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, arms fall back down to the sides. One more time, inhale, arms sweep up. And on this exhale, go ahead and fold all the way forward. So hinging at the hips, folding forward here. Taking a moment if you need to just bend the knees, maybe pedal out the feet. And then go ahead and walk, heel toe the feet out to the edges of your mat, coming into a wide forward fold. So letting the crown of your head relax completely towards the mat, letting go of any tension in the neck and the shoulders here. Spine is long. Maybe grabbing for opposite elbows if that's comfortable. And then just letting your body sway side to side here. Maybe shaking the head yes and no to let out any more tension. Just letting gravity do the work here to provide some traction for your spine. Again, focusing on the inhales and the exhales. And then go ahead and drop your left hand down to the mat in the center, just below your face. And on the inhale, you're going to sweep the right hand across the front side of your body as you reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. If it's comfortable, you can twist your gaze up over those right fingertips, trying to keep a nice long spine here. So no rounding in the back. Maybe tenting your fingertips. If you have a block, you can use a block here. Just breathing in and out as we wring out the spine. And then gently bring that right hand back down to the mat. And go ahead and replace it where the left hand was. So just in the center beneath your face. Same thing, inhale, sweeping the left hand across the body as you reach up towards the ceiling. Reaching the fingertips long. Maybe looking up over those left fingertips, bringing the chin towards your left shoulder. Focusing on the breath. And then release, bringing the left hand back down to the mat. Go ahead and toe heel your feet back together. And then on an inhale, sweeping the arms, coming back up to stand. Exhale, bringing the hands through to heart center. Go ahead and take a moment here in mountain pose just to recenter yourself. Catch your breath. Moving into sun salutation A. So on your inhale, sweeping the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bringing your hands to your shins. Find a half lift here. So reaching the crown of the head long. Spine is long. On the exhale, fold forward. And then go ahead and walk your feet back to the back of your mat into a high plank. And then you can go ahead and drop your knees here for this first round. And on the exhale, bringing the elbows in tight to your sides, chest to the mat. And then on your inhale, drop the tops of your feet down to the mat and start to peel your chest off the mat for cobra. There should be no weight in your hands here, using the muscles of your back to peel your chest up off the mat. And then on your exhale, sending the hips back to the heels for a quick child's pose, arms out long in front of you. And then tucking the toes, sending the hips up and back to downward facing dog. So take a second here again to pedal out your legs. Bend your knees as much as you need to get comfortable in this first down dog. Try to let your head drop in between your arms. The majority of your weight should be in the front pointer fingers and the thumbs, trying to bring it out of the wrists. Just take a couple breaths here, sending the hips up to the sky, heels down to the mat. And then go ahead and walk the feet back up to the top of your mat. And on an inhale, sweeping the arms, coming back up. Relaxing the arms down to your side for mountain pose. So we're gonna do sun salutation A 2 more times just to get the body warmed up. So inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And go ahead and walk back to your high plank. You can drop your knees down if you need to, or you can keep them lifted. Coming down into chaturanga, keeping the elbows in tight to the sides. Inhale, lifting up into cobra, or you can come into up dog. So tops of the feet are on the mat. The thighs are lifted off the mat. Your gaze is up at the sky, feeling this nice stretch all the way through the abdomen. And on the exhale, back into downward facing dog. So trying to send the hips a little higher each time we come into downward facing dog. Heels a little bit closer to the earth. Head drops in between the arms. And then go ahead and walk the feet back up to meet the hands. And on an inhale, come back up to standing. Exhale, relaxing the arms down by the side. One more time here. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Walking the feet back to high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Sending those hips up high. Heels drop down. Feeling this release along the whole back side of the body. And then go ahead and look up in between your hands. We're gonna step the right foot in between the hands here. dropping the back knee down to the mat to come into a lunge. So you can rest the top of your left foot on the mat if that's comfortable for you. And you can either keep your hands down on the mat. If you have blocks, you can use blocks here, or you can bring the hands on top of that right knee to get a little bit of support. Just try to keep the chest lifted, keep the front of the body open, and then trying to press that left hip down towards the mat to get a nice stretch here into the hip. Again, focusing on those deep inhales, deep exhales, sending that breath to anywhere you're feeling tension, just working on stretching out the hip flexors here. And then go ahead and drop the hands back down to the mat, and we're going to gently start to straighten that front leg as we come back into a half split. So you can start to walk your hands back, flexing those right toes towards your face. We want to keep the hips lifted over the heels here. So you can find as much of a bend in that front knee as you need. We don't want to hyperextend and cause any injury here. So gently start to straighten that front leg. The more you straighten it, the more of a stretch you're going to feel in the back in your hamstring. Focus on pulling that pinky toe back towards your face. Just breathing into this, releasing any tension through that hamstring. And then slowly, gently easing your way out of this, coming back into that lunge, tucking the back foot, lifting the back knee. Go ahead and bring the right foot back to meet the left. Maybe take a second here again in a downward dog to pedal out the feet. Just notice the difference maybe on that right side. Let's go ahead and even it out with the left side. So looking in between the hands, step that left foot up in between the hands, dropping that back knee down to the mat, resting the top of the foot on the floor for lunge. So again, you can keep your hands here, you can use blocks, or you can place your hands on top of that left knee. Just trying to press that right hip down into the mat, keeping that left knee over the left ankle. Chest is proud, the front of the body is lifted and open. And then go ahead and bring the hands back down to the mat and slowly start to straighten out that front leg as you walk back into a half split. Pulling the toes back towards the face, finding as much of a bend in that knee as you need to get comfortable here initially. And then with each exhale, maybe trying to straighten a little bit more to get a little bit deeper into that hamstring. So on the exhales, we can get deeper into these stretches. Again, focusing on sending that breath to those areas where you feel tension. Pulling that pinky toe back towards your face. And then gently walking the hands back up. Tucking those back toes, bringing the left foot back to meet the right. And then just take another moment here in downward dog to pedal out the feet. And then we'll go ahead and drop down onto our knees for cat and cow. So go ahead and find a neutral spine here with the wrists directly under the shoulders, your knees are under your hips. Crown of the head is long, spine is long. Find an inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to round the spine, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone for cat. So dropping the head down, chin is tucked in towards the chest, tailbone is tucked. And on the inhale, reaching the tailbone up to the sky, gaze lifts up, belly drops down for cow. Inhale, pulling the belly button into the spine, dropping the crown of the head, dropping the tailbone, looking up towards that belly button. Inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, lifting the tailbone. And then go ahead and do 2 more rounds on your own with the breath. Just really warming up the spine here. And once you've completed those 2 rounds, coming back to a neutral spine for thread the needle. So we're going to go ahead and stretch our shoulders out. So just like we did in that half twist, on the inhale, I want you to pull the right hand across the chest as you reach those fingertips up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, you're going to thread that right hand underneath the left arm, and you can drop the right ear down to the mat, keeping the hips lifted here. If you want to find a stretch on the left side, you can reach those fingertips out long in front of your mat, or you can keep that hand just where it was to make it a little bit more passive, whatever you're feeling like you need today. Just breathing into this side, letting the shoulder relax, letting go of any tension here. And go ahead and walk those fingertips back if you reach that right hand out. On an inhale, sweeping that arm back across the chest, reaching up towards the sky one more time. And then on the exhale, dropping that right hand back down. Same thing on the left side. So inhale, sweeping the left hand up towards the sky. And on the exhale, threading underneath that right side. Resting the left ear on the mat. Keeping that right hand just where it is, or if you'd like, you can reach it out long to get a little bit more of a stretch on that right side. And throughout the practice, just taking note of the differences from side to side. Maybe you're carrying tension more in the left side or the right side. Just becoming aware of this. And then go ahead and walk those fingertips back if you extended the right hand. Inhale, sweeping that left arm back up one more time. Exhale, dropping it down to the mat. Moving into toe stretch. So this is a great one for runners. So I want you to go ahead and tuck your toes behind you. Maybe reach back and pull those little toes out because they tend to get lost back there. And what we're going to do first is we're going to come to stand on our knees. So you've got your toes tucked, standing on your knees here. And then you're going to slowly begin to sit the hips back down onto the heels. So you might start feeling this pretty quickly into the arches of your feet. Just finding that first point of resistance here, holding it there and breathing. Just taking note of this discomfort and letting the breath do the work to help it relax. And if you'd like to feel it a little bit more in your toes, you can walk your knees out slightly. It'll start to bring that stretch more into the toes. But if you want to feel it more into the arches of your feet, you can walk your knees back. Take 2 more rounds of breath. Just working through this. And then gently walking yourself out. So walk your hands forward, sitting your hips back up. And then what I like to do is place the tops of the feet on the mat and then just kind of tap those feet out. It kind of brings some of that feeling back into the feet. Great work. All right, going into pigeon. So we're going to take our right knee and bring it directly behind the right wrist, and then walking that right foot closer to the left hand. And then start to walk that left knee back until that back leg is straight, top of the foot resting on the floor. So you can adjust that right foot closer to the hand or closer to the hip. It just kind of depends on where your flexibility is today. So we're going to start lifted here in pigeon. So again, keeping the chest proud, keeping the front side of the body open, finding a nice little arch in your back. And then slowly starting to walk yourself down into a sleeping pigeon, maybe coming onto the forearms. You can use the arms as a pillow here. If you have a block or a pillow, you can use that as well. Just resting down here into pigeon. Feeling this nice stretch all through that right hip. Maybe into that left thigh. And pigeon is a pose that you can hold for 5 to 10 minutes at a time on each side. if you have the time. And then gently lifting yourself back up. Go ahead and tuck those back toes, start to walk that back knee in, and then bring that right knee back to meet the left. And let's do the same thing on the other side. So bringing the left knee behind the left wrist, left foot comes behind the right hand, walking that right knee back, dropping the top of the right foot onto the mat. So getting comfortable here, we're gonna start lifted, so keeping the chest open. Crown of the head is long, finding a nice arch in the back. And then slowly start to bring yourself down to the mat, resting your head wherever's comfortable. Finding that release in the left hip. And then slowly lifting yourself back up, tucking those back toes, walking that knee in, bringing the left knee back to meet the right. And then we're gonna go ahead and shift onto our backs for final relaxation pose. So go ahead and find a comfortable position here, lying on your back. Really settle into this. So make any adjustments you need with your clothes, with your body. And just allow yourself to be completely still, allowing your body to absorb all the benefits of this practice. And just as we did in the beginning of the class, take a moment here to do a quick scan from your head all the way down to your toes. And as you do this body scan, making a conscious effort to relax every part of your body, allowing yourself to be heavy, just melting even deeper into the mat, and noticing any changes and how your body feels from the beginning of class to now. If you need to move on with your day, go ahead and roll to your favorite side. So gently rolling over, maybe taking a moment here on your side, relaxing your head on your arm. And then use your hand to gently guide yourself back up to a comfortable cross-legged seated position. Bringing your hands to heart center here, you can close your eyes or shift your gaze downward towards the floor. Taking a moment to thank yourself for showing up today, to allow your body this time to rest and recover, knowing that this will ultimately help you perform better in the future. And go ahead and relax your hands down to your knees. Slowly start to open your eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.